Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and you didn't tell me. You're asking me about the background on your background, and you didn't tell me that the look at the that you have. It's crooked. Can you tell that it's crooked? Did you see that it's crooked? That doesn't do well in radio.
I let you have it now. You see what I see.
I didn't see it till just now.
But I don't see why not. So what's the difference between now and 5:55?
Because I was looking at the time, I'm looking at the screen where it says you're live, and when I saw that you're live, I was like, oh, son of a gun, that
Mhm.
picture is crooked.
Well, Coy, the purpose for logging on earlier is so you can
I
adjust
did that.
and do
I
all
did
of
that.
this.
I did that.
Obviously not.
It wasn't working. It wasn't working.
Okay. Well, that's why we give ourselves enough time. I'm just saying.
I've been here for a long time. Trust me.
Coy, what's a long time? I'm gonna trust you. What's a
I've
long
been
time?
here since 6:30. I have. I've been sitting right here since 6:30. I have. Yep.
And
So
doing
why so
what? And
early?
what were you doing at
Why
6:30, a
why
half
why is
hour?
6:30? Why so early?
Messing with this. Why so early? Because I'm dog tired. I just got back from Arkansas this morning from my
And boy, are
uncle's
your
funeral.
arms tired.
Tired. If I didn't sit here today at this time, I would not be here. I'd be right over there asleep.
Okay.
I don't even think the microphone is working the way it's supposed to.
It's not.
It's not. I didn't think so.
Now it is. As you look down, you can. It's clear.
Really?
Mhm.
How about now? Are we live? It says we're live.
Yeah, we are.
Welcome to the real show, folks.
Yeah, the show behind the show is with Coy is the show.
Yeah.
Okay, Coy, you got a table that works. All right. How about your microphone? And what about your earbuds? You have earbuds and
Well, yeah, I got them just in case. So
see,
I know these are the ones that I have trouble with because I can't sit still.
and they make noise when things clink and clank.
Yeah.
How are you
Me
today,
too.
Sybil?
I voted today. I
You
feel like
vote?
a
You
real
made it.
adult American. Yep, I
How was
made it.
the line?
It was a line. It was a line. I went twice today. Earlier I couldn't stay because I was running out of time and I had to get home and complete my work. And after I finished, I went back, and there was a line. I mean, it was the line was outside. Once you got inside the voting room itself, which is about the size of a classroom, you went right in and were taken care of. But
How long
there
did you
were
wait in line? How long did you wait to vote?
probably about 35 minutes.
Ooh, well, it's a beautiful day, so
Yeah, it was a lovely day.
yeah.
Not what a lot of people around the country are having in October, but it was probably about 80 something degrees today, so it was nice skies, clear
Mm.
skies, and everything. And for the first time, I saw a former colleague of mine, and I know that we live in the same area, but I never see her anywhere. Andrell, who was our
Oh,
office manager, uh, took her mom to vote today, and
and y'all were
so
there at the same time?
Well,
Ooh,
actually, I was finishing up and she was coming in. And
yeah,
I
I
was like,
like
oh,
that.
and today's her birthday. And I was like, oh, look at the birthday girl,
Oh
what she's doing.
goodness.
Yeah, so it was
Good.
good to see. And I took a picture, I posted it today, of the line. And so there was an older gentleman. It looks like he's straight out of like a 60s TV show, balding with like the George Jefferson hair around the side. I think he had on like a dashiki, and he's like
Of course he had on a dashiki.
one of those down brothers. Yeah, yeah, sister, power to the people kind of guys. And so we ended up side by side when we were voting in our respective little cubicles. And he was so excited. Every
Oh,
time he would press somebody's name, yeah, and
oh,
you go, and all right. I
oh
was
my
like,
goodness.
it was so great. And it was so in there. He goes, you know what I mean? I was like, yes,
Wow.
sir, I do. He goes,
You know what I mean?
And
well,
they allowed that because when I go up
Right.
there, they have you quiet.
Well, he was.
Good
It
for
was.
him.
It was. It was. It was very conversational to me. I don't know if they had enough people in there, that they had to keep an eye on. But it was very cool. It was very cool. Everybody, just stood out there, and some husbands and wives tag teaming, a lot of individuals, adult children and their parents, like Andrell and her mom. And so it was at a seniors community center, I believe. So it was really cool. And it's so funny because they have this lady who's there every time I go in the wrong door. And she goes, "Oh, baby." I'm like, "I know, I came in the wrong way." And so, but I like the fact that he referred to me as a young girl and she referred to me as baby, because usually I'm the old girl in the
You don't
room.
get that often.
I don't. I don't. Not even when I get carded. They're like, "Oh yeah, yeah." They said it's true what they say. But it's just really cool, and that everybody was so engaged, everyone to a person. And I don't know if it's the neighborhood or what, but I saw Trump and Vance signs. I did not see any Harrison Wall signs out there. You know how they have the candidate uh, cards up there. And
Well, welcome to Texas,
I know, right?
Fort Worth, Texas.
But Fort Worth, Texas, especially.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling the winds of change in the state of Texas. People are starting to come around about Colin Allred, and they're putting a lot of money in that race. And so it'll be interesting to see if the collective dislike for Cruz is working. Coy, did you early vote?
I did.
Oh, good.
I only voted last week. I want to go ahead and get it out the way. I don't
Did
feel
you
like
have a
standing.
long wait?
No, I didn't actually. The line was pretty much non-existent. I was like one of only like 2-3 people that were walking up. I also went like the last 15 minutes at
You
the
went like
early
at 3
voting
o'clock
poll
in the morning
places.
after getting out of the club, didn't you?
I know, right? That's what I should have did. No, I went about just before 7 p.m. because I think they're open from 7 to 7 here. So I went about like 6:45. I'm like, oh, let me vote on the way home.
So
Last
Yolanda, it's
week.
on you.
Well, I'm waiting. Ward took his mother today. He took her to vote.
I think we'll take your parents to the polls day.
Well, he decided that he was going to wait to vote with me to vote. So we'll be going together.
Oh, so he could have had both of his women with him. Big Willie, have a woman on each arm.
That's not the way he do it. He keeps his women separate. Ooh, Sybil, look at me. Look at me, Sybil. Coy, that's me biting my tongue.
Why?
There's so much more that could be said.
Oh no.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Ladies
so
and gentlemen.
what about that newsletter?
I know, right? Welcome to It's Sybil,
Everything
and
but.
let's talk about what's going on in the What You Need to Know newsletter. What we talked about for the most part for these last 8 minutes, not what you needed to know. But I will say that it is a very good newsletter, and we have a number of different areas in which we have young, very good writers talking about areas of interest for them. Coy Malone is our social justice contributor, and she is, how many times a week? 4 times a week, Coy, do you?
3.
3? Is it just 3? Oh, seems like you're harder working than that. 3 times a week, you'll find Coy's social justice stories, as well as Cameron is our political writer, and his little sister Quinn is our LGBTQ plus writer, and Aprilette Russell is our mental health and wellness contributor as well. So, we'd love to have you subscribe to the newsletter. Please go to sybilwilkes.com. Give us your name and your email address. We'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday. And it is absolutely free. All we ask is that when you get it, please open it and find out great stories like the one Coy Malone goes behind the story that many of us came to know on social media. A young Black man harassed by white men in their neighborhood. And when I say their neighborhood, I mean their neighborhood.
And it's very, very reminiscent of Trayvon Martin, as a lot of people
Yeah.
have echoed the sentiments in the comments of this story, as well as the mother of the son who experienced this, unfortunately.
In Florida. Was it Florida?
Yes. In Florida, yes,
Yeah.
it was. Same
Yeah.
state, same story, different person. Unfortunately, he came out alive at the end of this. I would love to put that out there. Whitney Portella, who is Black, posted several video clips on TikTok of her 18-year-old son being harassed by 3 white men while walking through their Sarasota County, Florida neighborhood. The videos are also posted on Facebook, where she gave a little bit more context. This is the morning after Hurricane Milton, and it left their home without power and bad phone service. So her son decided to go outside to get phone service. He wanted to call his girlfriend and check on her. And as he's walking through the neighborhood, 3 white men began following him and harassing him for over 10 minutes. And her son recorded the entire interaction. In the video, one of the white men accused her son of walking in front of his home 4 times, said he'd never seen him before. And another white man asked, "Do you live around here?" And the teen replied, "I'm a part of the neighborhood." And then the white man asked, "Well, does that mean you actually live here?" And he continues asking him questions. So at
And they
one
were
point,
peppering him with questions. One was on a bike, one was walking, but his family was like driving in a car behind them,
yes,
right? And it was just so queer and quizzical what was going on and what was I mean, obviously they felt threatened by a young Black man who looked considerably older than 18, I might add. But even still, it doesn't matter because they were very it was like, members of the Klan, following along behind, like the Watchmen situation
yeah,
in Florida.
very menacing. And so in one clip, the teen is seen speaking to a Sarasota County sheriff and asked the officer, "This is harassment, right?" I'm not sure what happened between him and the officer, because
Right.
the men continued following him after this clip. In the third video clip, he's basically cursing at them and saying, "What are y'all following me for? Y'all don't tell me what to do or what to not do." And as he keeps walking, one of the men goes to a car and is like he's retrieving something. And then another white man runs up to him and it's like he's holding him back, as if he's like
Gonna
angry and
stop him
aggressive and
from
about to
from
stop him
doing
from
anything
doing
with it.
something. So a lot of people speculated that what the white man, went to go retrieve was a gun from the
Mhm.
car. I can't think of anything else that he would have went. I mean, it wasn't snacks. It wasn't,
With his
canned
child
goods.
in the car.
With a child in the car. All these things are going on. So the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office shared on Facebook that Miss or Mrs. Portella filed a complaint and that detectives have been assigned and are actively locating and interviewing. Apparently, these men have been located by internet sleuths who have posted their names and information. One comment, I believe, on TikTok posted the person's employer and it tagged them and said, "Hey, you need to do something about your employee." So, for legal purposes, we won't be sharing that, but I won't tell you that you can find it on TikTok and Facebook.
Someone in the comments said that one of the men was fired.
Good.
Job.
So it might have been the one that to which Coy is referring.
Yeah, but more needs to happen. The police definitely should have arrested these people for, I believe, stalking. That is a criminal offense, and child endangerment. And then you threaten a child with a gun or whatever you were trying to threaten him with. And the fact that you were
So
following him and
wait, hold
menacing
on for a
him.
second. So he had a gun?
Well, that is the assumption that when he
Oh,
went back
okay.
to the
Oh,
car
okay. That's not
to
fact. Okay.
retrieve
So that
something.
wasn't a gun. We
I
just
say assume that, because that's what they would assume if it
I'm
was
not
Black.
good at
It'd be a cell
assuming.
phone and it's a
I'm
gun.
married to a lawyer. We deal in facts.
It's keys, it's a gun. When it comes to a Black person, it's keys, it's a gun. It's a cell phone, it's a gun. It's reaching in the pocket, it's a gun. Grabbing the ID, it's a gun. Okay, he went in the car, it's a gun. Do the same thing.
I'm more intelligent than to do that.
Well,
Just
why
'cause
should we be more intelligent when we don't get
because
that
I am.
intelligence extended to
I don't
us?
measure myself by them. I just don't.
She's
Well, I feel
right,
like
Coy.
we should.
So go to What You Need to Know newsletter and get more information about this story. It was just so maddening, and the kid was just so calm. At the video that I saw, he was just it's like, well, why are you harassing me? Well, why are you walking back in front of my house 3 or 4 times? He's like, dude, I'm not. I'm just trying to get something done here. And I'm glad his mother stepped up and filed, opened an inquiry into this case, and
Oh, good. She did. Good.
yeah, that's what Coy is saying, and it's just This is
She
where
should
we
file
are.
charges. She can file her own charges. A lot of people aren't aware of that when certain crimes are committed. You can go to the police station. I forget the exact name of the office, but you can go and file charges against someone. And
The
if she's
Karen,
unable to do
it's
that,
the
at
Karen
least sue.
department.
It's not the Karen. I've had to do it, unfortunately.
Is it right?
No.
That's too bad.
If I find out the name of it while we're on air, I'll share that later.
And you also give an update just to give people, we don't need to go into the story because we want them to read it tomorrow, but you also give an update on a story that you did recently about a young man who was stopped, a young Black man who was wrongly stopped by police and arrested.
Yes.
So check out the newsletter for that story as well. Good job, Coy.
Thank you.
Also in the Monday newsletter, it was Ministry Monday, and our friend Willie Mae McIver talks about the term rebuke and what does it mean and how does it work in the Bible. She really goes into it, and so check that out. I love Ministry Mondays, especially when you don't go to church on Sundays.
This was one of my favorite one of her stories.
Really?
Yeah.
You said that last week too.
Oh, did I? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I enjoy her.
I do too. I really do. I as well. And lastly, check out the little known Black history fact. The author, Fawn Weaver's discovery of the history of Uncle Nearest Green. This is the Black man that reportedly taught Jack Daniel, that Jack Daniel, the art of distilling whiskey in Lynchburg, Tennessee. I've given many a bottle of Uncle Nearest because of this woman and her discovery and starting this company, Uncle Nearest, and comes in various levels of the beverage itself. But check it out, and if you have partake, I'm not a whiskey drinker, but I have given this as gifts, and if you are a whiskey drinker, I highly recommend it, and it's also food for a great conversation.
I thought Jack Daniels was rum. It's whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
You're so cute.
It doesn't look like rum. No.
Oh, rum is clear.
No, but the rum also there's an amber color to it as well, like whiskey.
So, but with Jack Daniels, don't you drink it with Coke?
You can,
Jack and Coke.
So maybe that's why I just put
rum and Coke.
Rum and Coke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Like gin and juice.
Never had it.
You've never had gin and juice?
No.
Why?
But I've never had hypnotic either. So
what? You survived that era?
I'm afraid.
What is hypnotic?
It's a heavy duty liqueur.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm thinking about something else. I'm thinking about Incredible Hulk because they use hypnotics and make that.
I really don't know what the Incredible Hulk is.
You didn't have that? You survived an era, Sybil. I'm surprised because you was out there. Y'all out there. Y'all should have had that.
No, Coy, I was out there, but I was on the periphery. I was just on the outside. I was playing.
Boy, have you had hypnotic or what's the Incredible Hulk?
I've had Incredible Hulk. I've had that. No, I'm telling my age. I don't think I've had hypnotic. I might have had hypnotic.
So hypnotic is a liquor like rum?
No, it's like let me look it up because it's like blue. And I can't remember what exactly is in it.
When you ask for a Coke, when you go dancing, you'll see hypnotic. It's a real pretty like turquoise blue or something. It sits in the bottle on the bar.
Fruit juices, vodka, and cognac.
Oh, it's a cognac. Mm-hmm. And it's already put together in the bottle?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and fruit juice, yep.
Okay.
And Incredible Hulk had, what was in there? I forgot. I have to look it up, but Incredible Hulk was, man, that was getting people tore up. Not me. It was Hennessy Hypnotic. And Hypnotic is what it was. Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Hypnotic.
Yeah.
So that's vodka from the Hypnotic and the cognac. It's like a Long Island iced tea.
Right.
You just keep
and then
in there.
Hennessy,
but you buy it already combined. It's not something you combine.
No, Hypnotic was already bottled.
Yeah, it's already distilled.
And then Incredible Hulk, they would make that at the bars, at the clubs.
Using Hypnotic.
Mm-hmm. And Hennessy.
Oh, ooh, That's a lot of alcohol. So it's Hennessy is what type of is it?
Cognac.
Cognac,
Oh,
but
so
this
okay.
already has cognac in it, doesn't
Right. So
hypnotic
they
already?
mix more
So more hypnotic, no
and it
more
turned green and they
cognac.
called it
Okay.
Incredible Hulk. Yep.
Okay. It
That's what I
sounds
said. Y'all survived an era.
yeah, I guess so.
Well, you survive by not diving right in.
Right.
You just kind of.
Tom didn't have a bottle of hypnotic at the studio.
He was not. No, he had a
Nobody
lot
gave
of
him
different
one?
bottles. Coy, not for he didn't have a bar at the, but people would bring him stuff. I
Yeah.
don't
He
know
was tequila.
but tequila was later on
Oh,
in that period of time when he discovered how people could survive, doing a lot of tequila and then getting up and going to work without a hangover the next day. That really appealed to him. Sorry. It's true. So those are some of the things, not all of that peripheral conversation that was in there, but those are some of the things that you'll find in the What You Need to Know newsletter. Once again, it's absolutely free. Please go to sybylwilkes.com, give us your name and your email address, and we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. As I said, absolutely free. Please, all we ask is that you open it. Let's move to the question of the day, what's really going on. And Yolanda, you're on. What's the question of the day? What is your greatest fear?
yes. Yes. Oh, yes.
We just had mine.
So, Coy, the question of the day is what is your greatest fear? So, where that came from is I really try not to live my life in fear. And normally, when something comes up, if it scares me, I go towards it.
You go straight to it.
I just don't like the idea of living my life in fear. So I go for it. And so today, Coy, listen to this. So today, I had to deliver something to someone. So I had to go to their house. So I drive up to the house and I'm looking at the house. I'm looking at the front porch and there are these two cats in the walkway. So I'm like, okay. So I get out the car and as I'm going and I motion that way, they didn't look, they didn't move. I'm like,
of course, the cats.
peace. So I went around and I entered through the side to go to the steps. Well, those two cats start walking towards me. So I'm hurrying up and I'm knocking on the door. And then, Coy, I promise to God, two more cats showed up. And then two more other cats, Coy, and they were surrounding me.
They chose you.
You're the chosen.
Coy, I'm telling you, I cannot remember being that. I mean, I was frightened, and I didn't scream, and because I'm just not overly emotional with stuff like that. But I was really
Were you
scared.
scared?
I didn't see an out. So the lady finally came and opened the door. And what's messed up is she saved me, but I had to deliver something that wasn't cool. And so, but I was so scared. And so my question to Sybil was, what do I do with that? I don't like the idea of being scared. And I didn't even know that I was that scared of cats. I didn't even know that. But they were surrounding me and they weren't big cats. They were just.
So I was asking her, Coy, I was asking a lot of questions. And of course, that's what I do. And it frustrates her because she couldn't get through her story. But were they house cats? What's a house cat?
I know, right? That sounds like outside cats.
Well, that's what I was trying to determine. And sometimes, they're a little bit larger. Sometimes house cats are a little bit larger. Sometimes, the outdoor cats are, almost have like a lion-like or a cougar-like.
Oh, Lord, that's a lot of studying of cats. Hell, I don't know. Let me tell you something. I wish I could have had an out-of-body experience and escaped, but I was there and I was and I want to do something. I mean, I can't picture at this point being in a room full of cats, but I might figure out how to be in a room full of cats because I don't like the idea of being scared.
Well, they liked you.
Is that what that meant?
Yeah,
because
as long as they were like this and
right? No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. So they were drawn to my energy. Come on, Coy, give it to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cats choose
maybe
you.
Maybe they thought you were an Egyptian goddess.
I'm like, oh, there she go, y'all. Outside.
Well, the whole cat thing in the
Maybe they
snake.
thought she had food. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought the door opening meant, okay, it's time to eat.
Time to eat.
No, the door wasn't open yet.
Yeah, but you were
But
going
you
towards
opened
it.
the door to get into that area,
No, I
right?
didn't. I knocked on the door.
No. You said you went through a side door.
No.
There was
I went to the side porch. So I entered the porch from the side as opposed to the walkway.
Oh, okay. So there was no screen or anything separate. Okay.
Do you think they all communicated with each other and say, hey, y'all, let's get together. Let's watch this. Watch this. Just sit around her. Watch this. Just sit there.
Is that what they were saying? Is that what they were saying, Coy?
Look at her. Look at her. Look.
That's what you heard in your head.
She's one of us.
Oh my
I had
goodness.
a cat like that on my porch one day when I came home.
Uh-huh.
And
I
now
shoulda
he
took
lives
it
there.
in. No, I should have said, I call him Ancestor Cat. That was the ancestor sent that cat. I haven't seen him since. I should have brought him inside.
Did you
He's
feed
He's a
him?
big cat. No, I put some food out there after he left, hoping he would come back. I've never seen this cat ever again. He was a big, gray, fluffy cat. And I had just did.
You liked him?
I did, but I was like, I don't know, kind of apprehensive because I just did what is that? Like a Reiki session that day.
Yeah.
And so, I'm feeling all healed and everything, and feeling great. And then this shows up, and I'm like, wow, that's a sign from something. Then I said, hey, you need to go back and talk to whoever sent you. And if it's okay, you can come back. And I haven't seen it.
That's
come
funny.
back. And I should have let it
Or
in.
cats like the ancestor said, meow, meow.
That's what's up. So what about you, Coy? What's something that scares you?
Nothing.
Good.
Nothing. I don't want to live in fear. I always lived in no fear for a long time. Then I started having fears. And a couple of those happened. And when that happened, that made me realize to stop living in fear, because it's like I've kind of centered my life around what if this thing happens. And then it did. And one of my biggest fears that I had previously was a parent dying and going to jail. and both of those happened in the same month.
Wow.
They happened in the same month in 3 weeks of each other.
Oh wow.
So facing that fear, that was big, because you don't want to see either one of those happening. And I don't know what, I could kind of understand the parent thing. The jail thing, not really, because I'm not out here like that to do anything. And I mean, the same thing happened then. And even like with reporting the stories that I do, I think that kind of like maybe helped trigger it a little bit. But
Right.
I really don't fear anything. Death kind of worries me a little bit, but I don't think I really fear it. I think the only time that I really, and even going through the situations I went through, I think the only thing that ever made me fearful, and I guess in that moment, was when the officer that arrested me ran out with a gun pointed at me. That's the only time I could really think of the time that I felt like fearful. Anything else, apprehensive, nervous, or whatever, but that's the only time that I really felt afraid. I'm not afraid of that though.
Right.
I don't want to live my life
Good for you.
restricted by fears. It costs too much.
With the work that you do, with your social justice work, I can just imagine, because you are just inundated with just so much stuff. Even the story that you told today about the young man that was walking down the street, that had to be scary for him. Who would have thought that you would encounter, especially knowing what we've known about Trayvon Martin and what have you? That has to be a constant fear in especially Black men's head. So to be faced with it, I could just imagine that that's always in your head.
Yeah, and even like I could share a story about this. Growing up, partially where I did in Arkansas, where I just went to visit family for my uncle's funeral. I've had 2 dealings with KKK, like actual head to toe.
Like not them route, like walking down Main Street or something, but like it was like one-on-one with you and a member of the KKK.
One of them was passing an entire group of them at a city hall downtown during noon, like middle of the day noon. Like,
and they had their gear on.
Yeah, head to toe.
Were they on the way to a picnic or something? What were they doing?
They were on City Hall steps.
Wow.
And it's just the feeling I had with that. And then another time, my cousin just reminded me of this story over the weekend that we went to Hot Springs on a family vacation. On the way coming back, his youngest sister's father is white, and he went into the gas station to pay for gas so we could fill up to go back. And in the gas station, he told us that they were inside telling him, "Hey, is that your family in the car?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "We all need to get them out of here before the sun goes down." And my cousin and this must be a repressed memory for me because I don't remember this. I was old enough to remember it, more than old enough to remember it. He says those KKK members got in their car and they followed us all the way out of town.
Wow. Yeah.
All the way. And it was something that was on my mind as we were going out there because this is a place where a lot of that stuff is rampant. And it's on the border of Arkansas and Oklahoma. And I tried to not speak that fear out like it was a concern, but I didn't want that concern to turn into a fear because between that and the police officers that operate there, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee, we're looking at a lot of different things that could possibly happen. So, and I mean, even my mother was speaking about that as well in the fear in a sense, but we got through it.
Wow.
And I just kind of did things to speak out against that.
Right. Bless you. How about you, Sybil? What's your fear?
I feel like such a punk. And that might not be the right choice of words. I'm sorry. I've been told that my choice of words is not kind. But I have a fear of snakes and
Spiders.
And spiders and snakes, and I hate squirrels with a passion.
What?
You're not scared of squirrels. You just hate them.
I just hate them. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't want them to eat. I don't want them to, for food. I just hate squirrels, and I drive faster when they're on the street.
They can be menacing.
They're a pest. They can ruin your house.
And your car.
I seen them throw. One used to live in this tree in my house, and it used to, when I would walk by the tree every day, it was throwing acorns.
Oh my
at me.
goodness!
I kid you not. And I had to figure it out.
Call me, because I would have come with a BB gun, and I just would have been. I would have, yeah. So and like Coy, my greatest fear used to be that my mother would die, and she did, and so you confront that, and what are you going to do?
Wow, well, that's something to be afraid of, the inevitable. Because inevitably, Ugh, I'm sorry.
And that's stress and anxiety inducing, really, to think about the inevitable like that.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
So, Yolanda, do we have people? Okay. Yeah. Barbara Ferguson on YouTube. I fear speaking in front of people. I am deathly afraid of dogs and snakes. Wow.
Yeah, they say the fear of speaking in public is the number one fear that most people have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not small spaces. It's not flying. It's speaking in public. Yeah.
Right.
Jasmine JR's on Facebook. My fear currently is that a felon. I'm sorry. I'm going to get through this. Jasmine on Facebook said her fear is currently that a felon may win the election. I was actually behind a van on my way home with a huge flag stating that I voted for a felon.
Ooh.
And I'm proud of it.
And proud of it.
Very proud of it. Okay. Before we close this out, do you have any others, Yolanda?
Let me see.
Because I have something about cats and what that means if cats surround you. It could be a sign that they see you as someone who needs protection or guidance.
Okay.
I could see that in a dream, but I don't. I could see that in a dream.
I could use some guidance. I'm open.
Okay. Offering their wisdom and protection during challenging times. There you go.
So okay, now I just heard what you said. So yeah, I would see that in a dream, but what about in real life?
Right.
Yeah.
Exploring the spiritual meaning of when a stray cat chooses you.
What does it say?
That's what I just said. It could be a sign that sees you as someone who needs protection or guidance.
Okay. Is that insinuating? And I don't like to put words, so never mind, because I don't like to put words. Never mind.
Okay. Let's close this out. Do you have
Cats are
any
very
other
spiritual.
fears?
Nope.
People are fearful of
Just snakes
participating.
and bugs. Nobody said rats.
I said snakes and spiders and rats.
Oh, rats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really strange because I used to have like, well, house rats. It was hamsters
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
was a kid. And
But
Well, to the
Sybil,
young woman who's afraid of the felon winning the
winning the
election,
election.
I like to let you know that in the middle of Arkansas, we saw people on the side of the road holding honk for Trump signs. And I said to my mom, I feel like flipping them off. And my mom said, you see nobody's honking, right?
okay. Okay. Let those
But don't be afraid.
let those people be who they are.
Yeah.
But Sybil, I was saying, so when we have people come over to the house, when they see my puppies,
Yeah.
especially older Black men, are terrified. And
Yeah.
I was telling Sybil, that must be how I must have felt today, how they feel when they come into my house, because they are big, they are shaking. That was how I felt. But Gwen suggested that I go to a cat sanctuary. I might do that.
You've been to other sanctuaries.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay. So when Yolanda leaves us tonight, she will be looking up cat sanctuaries.
I think I might do that. Thank you, Gwen.
Let's move to trending topics. And I want to tell people that tomorrow we will be checking in and checking up. We'll have a check in and check up program as we discuss hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. It is a heart condition. And we'll be talking with top notch cardiologists, an assistant athletic director at the HBCU Benedict College, as Lorraine Dunbar, as well as two great guys living with HCM. Baylor basketball standout and ESPN analyst King McClure, as well as fellow Baylor basketball star and now a Washington Wizards player, Jared Butler. So stay tuned for that. I think you'll find it very interesting. And especially if you are just someone who has just found out that you have HCM and living with HCM, what it can mean for you, and how these young men overcame a diagnosis which many said they couldn't do what they had set their hearts on doing, which was to play basketball. So check that out. That is tomorrow at this time, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, YouTube and Facebook Live.
So before you move on, I just wanted to acknowledge one of our favorites.
Oh, Z Walker on Facebook. I went to the Harris rally here in Atlanta on Saturday. It was phenomenal. I was on the floor and only 2 feet from her when she came down to greet the masses. Oh, nice.
That's sweet.
That's nice. Just before her birthday. And happy belated birthday to the vice president.
It seems like she having fun. She don't seem stressed out.
Well, she hasn't had people are talking about today is the 21st. It's been 3 months with this campaign.
What does that mean? I'm sorry.
She's only been running for president for 3 months.
I know, but I'm just wondering how much sleep do they get?
Well, I saw that today too.
Of course you did, Sybil.
She was at an event with Liz Cheney, and Maria Shriver was asking questions, and she's like, the rest of us were so stressed out, and we're drinking more, we're taking gummies. What are you doing? How do you avoid all of this? And she said, well, I'm not going to deny that I do wake up in the middle of the night, but I keep in touch with my family and talk these things. I exercise every morning, and she said I don't do gummies. Well, that might not be a bad idea, but I think everybody else thought that, including Maria. But she admits, and I can imagine she wakes up in the middle of the night, and just that we're now 2 weeks out.
Yeah, I bet.
And it's
this is a big effing deal.
Thank you, Joe. And speaking of Joe, First Lady Jill Biden revealed Monday that she thought President Biden made the right call in deciding to drop out of the race. It's time for something new, she said on Good Morning America with Deborah Roberts. It was the right call. Of course, we remember the president announced on July 21st that he would be ending his reelection bid following mounting pressure from Democrats and a rough debate performance against Donald Trump in June. She said, "I've had such a great 4 years, and Joe and I mean, really, it has been the honor of our lives. It'll be tough maybe to step away from it, but we're starting a new chapter of our lives, a new journey." The president's performance, of course, was called into question after the June debate, and it prompted a lot of folks, including leading Democrats, Nancy Pelosi and others, calling on him to drop out of the race. He resisted those calls until that Sunday in July, and that he announced that he was dropping out of the race and put his support behind his Vice President Kamala Harris. And so, in the meantime, Donald Trump is taking this race to a whole new low. The words that he uses to describe his competition, Vice President Harris, the curse words that he uses regarding her character, calling her a liar. So much so, he went to work at a McDonald's for about 15 minutes over the weekend. Said, "I worked here 15 minutes longer than Kamala Harris," or that's not his pronunciation. But then 15 minutes longer, saying that she lied about working at McDonald's. Who cares? But he he couldn't even take a moment and make a statement out of it other than his true ignorance. Because here's the thing. Somebody asked them about, what do you think about raising the minimum wage, which is something that the people who work at McDonald's have to face every day, working for minimum wage and fighting for a higher minimum wage. And he went off on a complete different tangent. He knows the people that own McDonald's. He always goes towards the rich guys. He doesn't talk about the people that are working really hard to make a living. He could have taken this moment and said, we have to do something about it. I have plans. He didn't have to be concrete about it. I have concept
of a plan.
No, he didn't even do that. But that's where we are, talking about her and then going off on a tangent about Arnold Palmer and the size of his private parts. It's just like, where are we in this movie?
I wondered, that couldn't have been. So I have a friend that's just very funny because he doesn't always say what he mean and mean what he say, but he's like, you know what I mean? No, I only know what you say. That could not have been what he meant. He was his brain is a little scrambled. And so that could not come out the way he really had it in his head. You think? Why would he be talking about a man's private part?
Because he has no concept of right and wrong and the types of conversations that you have with the guys and the conversations you have with women.
And who would you have that conversation with?
He would probably, I work with comedians. I work with comedians all the time. They have, they talk about stuff like that.
They talk about each other's privates?
Well, sometimes.
Okay.
Or somebody else's private, the way, this is really off the topic, but I'll go down this little roadway. There used to be a rumor in Hollywood that the comedian, and this is before your time, Coy, and yours too, Yolanda. There was a comedian by the name of Milton Berle, who was he's just a strange looking guy, but he used to always portray women. That was his shtick on, he would do all these of bits that he would do of women and dressing up in women's clothes. But he apparently was the most well-endowed man in Hollywood. And so there was this conversation off air one day about Milton Berle and his endowment and all of this stuff. And it's like, don't.
Okay. All right. Well,
but they don't have any regard.
Okay.
But he has so little regard for people, boundaries, and topics that you can't, because he thinks that everybody wants to hear what he has to say, and not everybody does, and it's very uncomfortable. And the words that he's using now, it doesn't even. You don't deserve any kind of respect for using words like that, let alone the lack of respect you have for others. And the fact that people are going, yeah, he's my guy, let him say what he wants. That can't be good. That can't.
Did you hear him talking about getting rid of the Department of Education?
Well, he's been talking about that that's why he gave people such a bad Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos. But yeah, and that's in Project 2025 too. This has been a long time plan on the
that he said he's not a part of. He said he's not a part of it.
Yeah, sure. Regina Glover says he is not a comedian. She says on Facebook he's always making sexual references. Yeah, and when you aren't having any, you usually talk about it a lot.
Mm.
Or when you got a little one. I'm not a comedian either. I'm sorry. Okay. Mail carriers have reached a tentative agreement with the United States Postal Service. Some 200,000 mail carriers have reached a tentative contract deal with the U.S. Postal Service that includes backdated pay raises
That's awesome.
and a promise to provide. Now, this is what gets me: a promise to provide workers with air-conditioned trucks. It's 2024.
Well, they got it now. Let's celebrate. Let's not.
Don't have it yet. They just
Well,
agreed.
they have it promised. They wasn't even promising it before. So let's celebrate the win.
The okay. The agreement, but it's just wrong. It's just wrong. Like the FedEx guys, and
Right, but they're correcting it. Praise God.
Okay, praise God. The agreement still needs to be ratified by union members. Runs through November 2026. Letter carriers have been working without a contract for the last year and a half or so, since May of last year. Both the union and the Postal Service welcomed the agreement, which was announced Friday. So good on them.
Oh, so I wonder, will they get that back pay for like a year since this started?
Since it goes back, yeah.
Oh my goodness, wouldn't that be great for them?
That would be awesome. Then we won't get our mail till like.
Yes, we will. That will inspire them to go forth and really put in.
My concern is people have died on the streets. Letter carriers. There's a woman who was putting up a fight because her husband was a mail carrier and he was working in the, delivering mail in the heat of Dallas days, and he dropped dead. And so it's been her purpose since his death to change this, and now they're finally getting around to it. It's
a Black woman, right?
Yeah. It was a Black letter carrier. The other thing they have to talk about is the safety. I hope that they are concerned about the safety of letter carriers. It's everywhere, but it struck home with my god sister's best friend was attacked by someone. Luckily enough, she did not die, as some letter carriers have, and it is. These are people just, they just want to bring us our mail. That's all they want to do.
So why are they being targeted?
They're being robbed. They go, like for apartments and things where they have all the keys for the mailboxes. They will go and steal the keys.
So what do they want? What do they want? What is robbing them for? What? Because
for their keys.
For their
keys to
they
the
probably think they can
mailboxes.
find like checks and
so
stuff
they're
like that.
going there for.
People still get paper checks.
Some people still get paper checks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yes, Yolanda, people still get paper checks.
You know what? I'm actually waiting on a paper check.
See?
Okay,
See?
you win.
See?
You win.
See?
Okay.
But yeah, it's a very dangerous job these days. We used to laugh and make jokes about post office carriers, letter carriers, and post office workers and things like that. I went to the post office yesterday, and this woman, she's in there all by herself. It's a beautiful day, and I was just trying to, to say, hey, how you doing? Hope you get out of here soon. Go outside and play. And I was like. And I thought, well, you guys are going to get,
Well, that's in every profession. We are just so.
Yeah. But I don't want them to be unhappy. I want them to know how much they're appreciated.
Right.
And, for those of us that go and send our snail mail off through the Postal Service and things like that. And
time you mail something?
Huh?
I was asking.
Over the weekend.
You put something in the mailbox over the weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you find a mailbox on the street, or did you have to go to
I went to the post office.
Mm-hmm. Do they still have those? They took those mailboxes off.
For the most part, it's hard to find a mailbox.
They're at the actual post office now.
Right.
Like those blue ones.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Wow. You brought up a memory. Yeah, you definitely don't see those anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
People were robbing them too.
Do you guys subscribe to things and then find it's difficult when you want to unsubscribe or cancel your subscription? Do you find difficulty in that?
Sometimes.
The Federal Trade Commission has adopted a click to cancel rule that requires businesses to make it as easy to cancel a service as it is to sign up. Click to cancel. And so, too often, businesses make people jump through endless hoops just to cancel a subscription, says the renegade commission chair, Lena Khan. Listen for her name. She is a woman who's making a big difference in the consumer world in this country. Nobody should be stuck paying for a service they no longer want. Under the rule that will take effect in the coming months, businesses must get consent for subscriptions, auto renewals, and free trials that convert to paid memberships. And canceling the services has to be at least as easy, she says, as signing up with no tricks or traps. I have this problem with the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. I love them, but they, after a while, after the trial, the subscription gets to be too expensive, then I have to go in and cancel it. I just want to blow my own brains out.
Oh goodness.
After doing, with these people. And it's like, and no, we're going to give you a credit, but we want you to stay. And no, just cancel. Well, what about if we give you the rest of your life for free until the 4th month? It's like, you don't hear me though.
So they're just constantly trying to sell and
keep you in. Yeah. So
Apple has an issue
a
with that too.
Say, I divorce thee, then that would be so good. That would be so good. So look for the click to cancel button soon.
Funny to me.
Let's move to entertainment. In case you didn't know, holiday movies are here on some channels.
Already.
And on others, they're on the way. It's a Wonderful Lifetime programming kicks off November 16th. It features 12 new original Christmas movies with stars like Tia Mowry of Sister Sister fame. Just watched her real life twin, Tamara, last night on a Hallmark Christmas movie, for those of you keeping score. The final movie in this lineup, BB Winans has a movie called We Three Kings, starring Winans and his real life niece, Deborah Joy Winans, who's a very good actress. The movie tells the story of a father attempting to reunite his estranged daughters at the holidays with the power of music, memories, and family love. BB Winans, Three Things, according to the network, that is going to be the last of the 12 movies. A Very Merry Beauty Salon, the Tia Mowry movie, she stars in it and is the executive producer. And this is the last of her 3-picture deal with Lifetime. Ronrico Lee and Coco Brown, the ever-loving Coco Brown, are also starring. Love Coco. The movie follows the lively women of an Atlanta beauty shop. Sounds familiar. Owned by Sienna, that's Tia Mowry's character. We must prepare for the annual tinsel ball, she says. The film reunites Mowry and Ronrico Lee, who previously starred together in the sitcom Sister Sister. So, did we lost Yolanda?
I guess so.
Yes.
Let me guess, Lawler.
Yes.
You could have put Ramsey right in your seat. That would have been so.
That would have Ramsey. Everybody in the house would be out on that. God dog, Sybil. I was like, she's gonna really read the whole thing.
I'm very excited. 24 hours of Christmas movies.
We know, Sybil, but you wait in July as well.
Well, it is Christmas in July.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, good.
Would you like to do your little jewel?
Yes. So, Sybil, I really want you to pay attention this week. It's about judging. You remember when I told you I wanted to figure out how to work judging in? So here we are for this week. It's about judging. So just remember, so while judging, remember that everyone is fighting their own battles. You bet not leave. You bet not be lost on this. You ain't SHIT, I swear.
You and Donald Trump, really?
Well, you know what's funny? Because somebody else said, Yolanda, you must be a Donald Trump supporter. Why? Because I'm not negative and because I don't bash him and because I don't do all of that? Okay. What's a girl gonna do?
Are you done?
I'm done. I'm done. So stop judging me. Sybil, I gotta go.
Sybil is a comedian. I don't care what she's talking about.
Yeah, Sybil's funny, man.
No, not funny. All right, thank you, Coy. I'm really sorry about your loss, your uncle,
Yeah.
and we will see you next week. Yolanda, stop judging me.
Me too. When I'm late. When I'm late.
While you're at it, just cut it out, Yolanda.
Bye, y'all.